Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Max Sports Entertainment. My name is Deepak Shankar, and here to recap sort of what happened in the week of sports, primarily with the NBA playoffs, Knicks, Cavs, Game 4, and then the last three games of Spurs Thunder, and then later on we'll get to the IPL playoffs and what's happened with that so far. To start off Game 4, Cavs Knicks, it was just another Knicks rout in classic fashion. They win 130 to 93 to advance their first finals for the first time since 1999. And it was pretty much just domination from the start. I mean, the Cavs just didn't have that level of urgency needed when you're down 3-0, trying to fight off elimination, and the Knicks took advantage of it, shot the lights out from the field, everybody contributing, great ball movement all around, great defense leading to great offense. So really everything that could have gone right went right for New York, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for Cleveland. And so, yeah, for the Knicks, just a balanced attack all around. Cat, an efficient 19, 14, and 3. Jalen Brunson, 15, 2, and 5. But, yeah, again, like none of the starters played more than 30 minutes. So it was just a very easy win for them. The game was pretty much over by middle of the second quarter, probably. Yeah, it was just a very comprehensive win. Landry Shamet just also continues to shoot the lights out off the bench. Made 13 of 14 threes, I believe, at one point in the Western Conference Finals. So just unbelievable, historic shooting from his perspective. And I mean, it was just a tidal wave. I mean, when you make 19 threes and shoot 44%, odds are you're going to win the game. Just as simple as that. Shot 49% from the field in the Cavs. Really, it was only Donovan Mitchell who showed up, tried to give an effort, but he played well. But everyone else, Harden James Harden wasn't good enough. Evan Mobley, okay, but still not good enough. And then, Jared Allen and whoever else, they just didn't have enough to match the Knicks' firepower. And the Knicks are one of those teams that are front runners where if they get a lead, if they get some momentum on the road or at home, because I mean their fans travel pretty basically anywhere on the road, and obviously when they're at home, when they get some momentum, they really capitalize on it and break the game open. So when they have those, 10-0 runs, 15-0 runs, there's just not much you can do. And so pretty easy win. The Knicks pretty much cruised their way to the finals, one of the most dominant stretches of playoff basketball we've ever seen. And yeah, they sweep two times. They've won, I believe, 10 or 11 straight playoff games. So it's the third longest streak in NBA history in terms of most consecutive playoff games won. That was the story of that game. And then move on over to the Western Conference, a much more interesting series, I would say. Going into Game 5, it was 2-2. It was pretty interesting because the Spurs had a big bounce back game in Game 4. And then the Thunder had a couple injuries with, Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell. And you thought, the Spurs, this is their opportunity to take control of the series, get another road win, but they were not able to. The Thunder made a statement. The Spurs started off the game well, but I think what really cost them was that Victor Wembanyama was too passive early, and then he tried to look for a shot more in the second half, but it just wasn't enough. He definitely looked fatigued by the end of the game. Was 0 for 5 from 3. 20 points, but 4 of 15 from the field, so a very, very rough performance from him. Stephon Castle played well for them. He had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Julian Champagnie, very good off the bench, hit 4 threes. De'Aaron Fox, also 4 of 15 from the field. So really their two best players just were not good enough. Dylan Harper also was just not that good either. 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting. Just didn't have the normal impact that he usually does. So it was just a surprisingly flat effort from San Antonio, and then it was close for a while, but then the Thunder sort of really blew the game open in the third quarter, and the Spurs were kind of hanging around, but it just wasn't enough. They weren't able to get all the way into the lead. The Thunder just kind of kept an arm's distance the whole way. In this game, SGA was aggressive looking for a shot, but he only shot 7 of 19, but did have 32, 2 and 9. So not a great game, but pretty decent game for him. Chet Holmgren played a lot better. Probably his best game of the series, 16, 11, and 1. Alex Caruso once again lights out off the bench for them. 22, 2-6 with 3 steals to go with it as well. Doing it on both ends. He's just had an outstanding series and an outstanding playoffs. So the Thunder just took control. Were just the better team, and they just looked like they wanted it more. And it just never felt like the Spurs were really in it, even though the scoreboard said they were, but it just wasn't their night. OKC took advantage, and they took a 3-2 lead. But then you get to Game 6, it's a totally different story. So Spurs trying to fight off elimination, trying to keep their season alive, force a Game 7 back in Oklahoma City. They did exactly that. And a much, much different game, almost the total opposite of Game 5, where Wemby, showed up in that monk outfit before the game, and he really meant business. And, Dylan Harper and others talked about it after the game. Once they saw that, they knew, they knew what was coming in terms of Wemby being dominant on both ends of the floor. And that's exactly what he did. I mean, he came out, they went up 9-2. He had a couple threes after not making any of them in Game 5. And just a dominant first half from him. And then he ends the game with 28, 10, and 2. Very efficient as well from the field, 10 of 21. And then 2 steals, 3 blocks, and a bunch of other altered shots. So he was just flat out dominant. And then that momentum carried over for the rest of the team. I mean, Stephon Castle, another really solid performance from him, 17, 5, and 9. Devin Vassell was really big for them. He hit 4 threes. Let's see here. Julian Champagnie also hit a couple more threes. He's been, very solid in this series. And then Dylan Harper was really the guy that came along with them, like in the non-Wemby minutes that have been an issue for San Antonio in the series. Dylan Harper looked for his shot, was very aggressive, and was able to do whatever he wanted against, the plethora of great defenders that OKC has. And he was just very good for them as their second best player tonight. And so, he had 18, 6, and 4. So just a very big, important performance from him there. And just, they definitely looked like they wanted it more. Their defense was outstanding. I mean, there was a stretch there in the third quarter where OKC missed 14 or 15 straight shots. So they just couldn't buy a bucket. The momentum was great. I mean, after every bucket, after, big time stops, you had guys like, Vassell and Castle, and then even Carter Bryant coming in. They were just very physical, attacking OKC, getting in their face, just being very competitive and feisty and all that good stuff. So they really took it personal what happened in Game 5, and they responded in a big way. And this game was pretty much over. It was close in the first half, and then the game really blew open, and the Spurs took a huge 20-point lead in the third quarter. And then that was pretty much that. And so the starters sat for all the fourth quarter on both sides. And then it sets up a Game 7. And as we said, going into this series, we figured these were the two best teams in the NBA. It was seemingly inevitable that it was going to go to a Game 7. And that's what we have. So thankfully it's come to that. And so it should be a good one, even though there's been a little bit of trading blowouts kind of, since Game 2. But I think the games in OKC have been closer than they have in San Antonio. And so I think this game will kind of be the equalizer, where obviously both teams are going to be going at it as much as possible, and there's not going to be any let up from either team. They're both on the same level, and it's for a trip to the NBA Finals to face the Knicks. So really the question is it going to be a rematch of the 1999 Finals with the Spurs winning, or is it going to be a first-time OKC versus Knicks Finals? And so we'll find out. Can't wait for Game 7 tonight. And really what I've noticed in this series is two things. One, SGA has just had a rough series. Even in the games they've won, and he's played well. Outside of probably Game 2, he's just had a rough series. He hasn't been able to score one-on-one consistently against the Spurs elite perimeter defenders like he was in the first 2 rounds and like he has been able to in the majority of his playoff career. So we'll see if that changes, because that'll go a long way in helping the Thunder's cause. And then in Game 7 also, Jalen Williams and A.J. Mitchell were ruled out. And Jalen Williams, he played a little bit in Game 6, but only a few minutes. He didn't look right. There was a lot of rust. So I think it's probably the smart decision from OKC to not play him. I think at this point they just got to ride it out with the healthy guys that they have, and go from there. And then secondly, there's been a pattern where whenever Wemby shoots 10 or more times and is much more aggressive in the first half, like he did in game 6 and game 4, and then game 1, when he's setting the tone, the rest of the team follows, and those are the games they win. But when he shoots less than that, and isn't as aggressive, it comes back to bite him, and OKC wins those games. So we'll see if the Spurs can follow that formula, because that'll go a long way in helping them win. And then the last thing I would say is, a lot of the higher scoring games in this series, OKC's won. A lot of the lower scoring games, San Antonio's won. So really, for OKC, they want it to be a high, like fast paced, high scoring shootout. Especially with the depth that they have, the pace they like to play with, converting defense to offense. But then the Spurs definitely want to slow the game down. Not quite as much depth, especially with a guy like Victor, can have some conditioning problems at times, not be able to, consistently play more than 35, 40 minutes. So they definitely want to slow the game down and make it more of a defensive struggle in order to be able to win this game. So really, those are the keys for either team. I can't wait for this one. You got Game 7 coming up. What is it, 3:58 now? It'll be coming up at 8 o'clock, so 4 hours away for the first Western Conference Finals, Game 7 since 2018, Warriors-Rockets. And I think this series overall, despite quite a few blowouts, has lived up to the billing in terms of the drama and the back and forth and the chess match of it all. And I just can't wait to see how it all unfolds here tonight in Game 7. Spurs Thunder, Oklahoma City, trip to the NBA Finals, the reigning two-time MVP and Finals MVP versus the guy you could argue is the best player in the league now. So, and Victor Wembanyama, the young phenom. So can't wait to see how it plays out, one way or the other. Should be a good one. And yeah, that's all I had. Appreciate you guys for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. Turn on notifications and all that good stuff. And then, yeah. Until the next one, I'll see you guys. And then, yeah, until the next one, I'll see you guys then. So, yeah, everybody, take care. Be well. Enjoy a great weekend. And I'll catch you on the next one for the IPL recap.